Example number 2. The cost of renting a car depends on the number of days for which it is rented and the distance that it's driven. So hopefully this makes sense. So if you rent a car for like 100 days but don't drive it anywhere, it's going to cost you. And it's also going to cost you depending on how much wear and tear you put on the vehicle. So the amount driven, the kilometers that you drive, also counts against you. So there's two things at play here, is the number of days as well as the distance that you drive. And it tells us some information. It says, okay, well, if you do 3 days and 100 kilometers, it's going to cost you $170. But if you do 5 days and 300 kilometers, it's going to give you $350. Okay, so then the question is, what's unknown here? What do we not know? Unknown. So the thing that's unknown is, well, how much does it cost per day? How much does it cost per day? And so that's one question. And then also, how much does it cost? Because it's not just the day, right? It's the kilometers. So how much does it cost per kilometer? It never tells us that. We don't know how much money per day, and nor do we know how much money per kilometer. So let's just say this is going to be X and this is going to be Y. So let X be how much money it costs per day, and let Y be how much money it costs per kilometer. So how much money does it cost? I didn't put money, but that's how much it costs per day and how much it costs per kilometer. So then we're going to need two equations. And these ones are actually pretty straightforward. They're baked right into here. They give us two total values. They give us a value of 170 and they give us a value of 350. So they say, well, if you do 3 days, so 3 days times however much it costs per day, which we don't know, and if you add 100 kilometers times however much it costs per kilometer, again, I don't know, then that's going to cost you $170. But they also said if you do 5 days, so 5 times however many days it costs you, so per day, and if you do 300 kilometers times whatever the price is per kilometer, you're going to get 350. So we need to now that we have two unknowns and we have two equations, we can solve for both of them. So I'm going to write this down. I've got 3x plus 100y equals 170. And we've got 5x plus 300y equals 350. So those are our two equations. And like before, I'm going to need to get y equals, and then I can do y equals y, and everything is the same as what we've been doing. So let's start with the left one here. I'll minus this 3x over to this side, to the right side. And again, we do not combine like terms. So just a minus 3x plus 170. And then we can divide by 100, divide by 100, divide by 100, and y equals negative 3x over 100 plus 170 over 100. Now I could reduce that to 17 over 10, but I just know that I'm going to have to get a common denominator when I do y equals y, so I might as well just leave it, and we'll just see what happens. For this one, I'm going to minus the 5x over to this side, so I get 300y is equal to 350 minus 5x, and then I can divide by 300, divide by 300, divide by 300, and again I could make this, I could reduce this to 35 over 30, which then I could reduce even more, but I'm not going to, because I'm going to I know I'm going to need to do some common denominator stuff right now. So now I can do my y equals y. So the left side is going to be the negative 3x over 100 plus 170 over 100. And the other side, I can't see, is going to be 350 over 300 minus 5x over 300. So yes, the numbers are much larger, but like a common denominator here is not that difficult. I could just times this by 3 and times this by 3, and then they're all at 300. So 3 times 3 is going to be 9, so a negative 9x over 300 plus 170 over 300. So 17 times 3, which is going to be 3 times 7 is 21, 51. 510 over 300. And then 350 over 300. This one's already over 300, and so is this one. So, I mean, I guess if you wanted to just off to the side go 17 times 3 if you didn't know what that was, or if you wanted to do the whole 170 times 3. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 1 plus the 2 is 5. So that's how I got 510 right here. Now that all the denominators are 300, I can do what I've been doing this whole time, times the numerator by 300, times the numerator here, and then all of these can cancel. So I've got negative 9x plus 510 equals 350 minus 5x. So I'm going to move the smaller or more negative. Well, the more negative is the 9 here. So I'll add the 9x over to the right-hand side. So I have 510 equals 350 plus 4x. And here I can subtract 350. Subtract 350. So 4x. 0, so 51, 35, 45, 16, so 160. And then divide that by 4, which will be 40. So x equals 40. And I forgot already what x was. So just out of curiosity, I'm going to look. Wow, I'm already at the end of this. I mean, I've written very aggressively here, so obviously it takes up a ton of space. But how much does it cost per day? X equals 40. And X is how much it costs per day? Yeah, so $40 a day. So now I need, and because I've run out of space, to find Y. So I can choose an equation and plug 40 in for the X. So these equations both have fractions because I never reduced them. So I'm just left with these ones. So I guess I'll do the smaller number one, the 3x plus 100y. So 3x plus 100y is equal to 170. And I know that my x is now 4. D, not 4. 4D. No, I'm like, what? Yes. So that's 120 plus 100y equals 170. And now I can do some algebra. I can move over the 120. Move over the 120. So 170 minus 120 is going to be 50. Oh, nice. And then I can divide that by 100. And 50 over 100 is a half. So y equals 1 over 2, or y equals 0.5. Okay. So how much does it cost your x? So maybe I'll get a little therefore here. So my the rental, so per day is going to be the X. I think X is per day, so how much does it cost per day? Yeah, X is per day, and Y is per kilometer. So I'll write a little sentence there that per day is 40, and then per kilometer is 50 cents. So a half a dollar. And there you go. So that's that question. I'd zoom out, but it's a whole page. So it's better just to do the PDF. And there is a practice example for you to work on the worksheet.